Let me ask you something before we even start. When was the last time you picked up a sleeveless dress, fell in love with it on the hanger, and then quietly put it back the second you remembered what your arms looked like? If that's you, I want you to know something first. You are not being dramatic, and you are not alone. I did the exact same thing for years. Stood in a fitting room with a dress half on, staring at my own arms in the mirror like they were on trial for a crime nobody had actually accused them of. Nobody in that store was looking at my arms. I was the only one doing that. Today, I'm handing you 7 things that would have changed that moment for me completely, and I'm counting them down to the one that matters most, the one that has almost nothing to do with your arms at all, and everything to do with how you walk into a room. If you're new here, welcome. This is Silver and Stylish, where getting dressed after 60 comes with 0 apologies and 0 explaining yourself. Stay a while, hit subscribe, and let's get into it. 7. Start with the strap, not the arm. Most women ask the mirror the wrong question. They ask, how do my arms look in this? The better question, the one that actually gets you somewhere, is this strap built for my shoulder or was it built for someone else's? Here's the surprise that took me years to learn. 2 dresses can bear the exact same amount of arm and read as completely different garments purely because of the strap width. A thin string strap sits like a tightrope across a fuller shoulder, and that hard, narrow line, not the arm underneath it, is what the eye actually catches on. Move up to a strap closer to 1.5 inches or 2 inches wide, or a shoulder seam that follows your natural shoulder edge, and that visual tension simply dissolves. And this doesn't mean bulky or matronly. A well-proportioned strap can still be delicate. It just has to match the width of what it's sitting on. Then there's the armhole, and this is the difference between a dress that looks tailored and one that looks grabbed off a clearance rack in a hurry. Too tight, and it digs a little groove into your arm. Too loose, and you're spending the whole event tugging the fabric back into place. The right armhole sits close without squeezing anywhere. It's a 10-second check in the fitting room, and it solves more sleeveless dress problems on its own than everything else on this list combined. But the next trick works even harder than this one, and almost nobody ever talks about it out loud. 6. Let the neckline do the work. Here's what actually changes the second you go sleeveless. There is simply more bare skin visible up top than there was a moment ago, which means whatever frames that skin is now doing all the storytelling. A V-neck sends the eye down a clean vertical line, which reads as length, a longer neck, a taller frame, even if nothing about your actual height has changed. A scoop neck softens the whole look. A square neckline feels structured and a little architectural. An off-the-shoulder cut isn't really a neckline at all. It's the statement of the outfit. Add one pendant that falls along that same vertical line, and now 2 design elements are working together, pulling attention up toward your face instead of sideways across your shoulders. The one combination I'd steer you away from, a tight, high crew neck paired with a fully bare shoulder. There's no open space for the eye to settle into, so it drifts outward instead. If a sleeveless dress ever feels slightly wrong and you can't name why, check the neckline before you blame anything else. 9 times out of 10, that's where the answer actually is. Almost nobody talks about what's coming next, and it might be the single most overlooked trick on this entire list. 5. Fabric is doing more than you think. When a sleeveless dress feels wrong on your body, it is almost never actually about your arms. It's the fabric or the cut, or very often both at once, working against you without you ever realizing it. A mid-weight jersey drapes cleanly and moves the way your body moves. A thin, cheap jersey clings to every seam. Crepe hangs with a quiet, heavier weight that reads as expensive the instant you put it on. A structured linen or cotton blend holds its own shape, so your body never has to do the work. Silhouette matters just as much, and A-line is endlessly forgiving. A wrap dress creates flattering diagonal lines on its own. A straight column dress in a structured fabric looks chic without extra effort. Here's a quick test. Pinch the fabric between two fingers and let it drop. If it falls and moves freely, it's on your side. If it holds the shape of your fingers like a stiff little tent, put it back. Then step back and ask the only question that matters. Does this read as one clean, unified shape? When the answer is yes, your arms become one small part of the picture, not the headline. If any of this is landing, tap that like button because the next trick is the one I get asked about more than every other tip combined. And it's the exact reason my cousin texted me at midnight last spring, half laughing and half crying, saying she finally felt like a dress belonged to her instead of something she was borrowing. 4. The layer you wear under, not over. Most of us reach for a cardigan the second we feel exposed, and here's the part nobody says out loud. A knitted cardigan usually works against you. It cuts your silhouette visually in half, adds bulk at the shoulder, buries a waistline you paid for, and can date an outfit instantly. Try this instead. Put something under the dress rather than over it. Look for an ultra-fine mesh top or a delicate stretch lace long sleeve. Nothing scratchy, nothing pulled from a decade best left behind. Worn underneath, a sheer layer softens the texture of the skin and smooths any discoloration without hiding your shape at all, almost like a real-life soft filter. The trick is matching your tones exactly. Black dress, black mesh, cream, a matching nude or champagne lace. When the tones line up, it genuinely looks like the dress was designed with sheer sleeves from the start. And because the fabric is light, you stay cooler than you would in a cardigan, which matters more than we'd like to admit once the room fills up. Here's where things shift, because the next 3 tricks on this list aren't really about covering anything at all anymore. They're about redirecting the entire room's attention somewhere else, and that's a completely different conversation than the one we've been having so far. 3. Movement over concealment. A stiff blazer buttoned all the way up reads as concealment from across the room, and people register that even if they couldn't tell you why. A floaty open layer, chiffon, silk georgette, and open weave linen is an entirely different story. These fabrics catch the light and let your arms show through motion instead of being fully bare or fully hidden. The rule here is simple and almost nobody follows it. Never close it. The moment you button or belt a floaty layer, it becomes a jacket again. Left open, it creates 2 long vertical lines that elongate your silhouette while still letting your arms be part of the outfit. A cropped linen jacket for lunch, a soft kimono for a wedding, an unbuttoned blazer for dinner. One dress becomes 4 or 5 outfits depending only on what you layer over it. That's exactly why I don't want you giving up on sleeveless dresses. Once you see them this way, they become some of the most versatile pieces in your closet, not the most difficult. Quick question before the last 2, and I actually want an answer. Type a 1 or a 4 in the comments, whichever tip has already changed how you're getting dressed this week. 2. Create a waist, even a suggested one. Sometimes a dress feels wrong and it has nothing to do with your arms or your stomach. It's proportion. The eye instinctively hunts for a waistline, and the moment it finds even a soft, suggested one, your entire body reads as balanced and intentional instead of shapeless. You do not need an hourglass figure to create an hourglass impression. A wrap dress does this naturally with its crossover front and A-line skirt. But if you've fallen for a straight, unstructured dress with 0 waist definition, don't put it back yet. Ask yourself one question: can I add a belt? A slim leather belt, a rope tie, even a fabric sash turns a flat silhouette into a deliberate shape in about 5 seconds. And a deliberate shape always reads as confidence, whether you're 25 or 75. And now we're at the 1, the trick that lives quietly underneath every single tip we've already gone through, the one that actually decides whether all 6 of the others work at all or fall completely flat no matter how well you followed them. 1. Posture is the real styling secret. Before you roll your eyes at stand up straight being the #1 trick in a styling video, stay with me for 30 seconds because this is the one that actually decides whether the other 6 even register at all. Accessories are not decoration, they are direction. A statement earring or a bold pendant pulls every eye toward your face and keeps it there. A nude shoe elongates the leg line. A small, structured bag looks chosen rather than grabbed on the way out the door. A touch of fine shimmer across the collarbone catches the light exactly where you want it. But none of it means anything without posture. Here's what I want you to actually carry out of this video and into your closet tonight. You do not have to earn the right to wear sleeveless clothing by having perfectly toned arms first. Your arms have lived. They have carried groceries up flights of stairs, held babies at 2 in the morning, done work nobody ever saw or thanked you for, and hugged every single person you have ever loved in this life. They do not need to look 25 for you to wear a beautiful dress at 60, 70, or 80. And the sooner you actually believe that, the sooner you stop wasting closet space on dresses you're too afraid to ever put on again. The next time you're standing in front of that mirror, run through this list the same way we just walked through it. Check the strap and the armhole first. Let the neckline lead the conversation. Choose fabric that skims instead of clings to you. Add that featherweight layer underneath whenever you want a little extra coverage. Keep every floaty outer layer open, never closed. Play with proportion using nothing more than a simple belt, and then stand exactly like this dress was made for you, because at this point in your life, it absolutely was. If any one of these 7 tips changes the way you get dressed tomorrow morning, that's exactly why this channel exists, and it's exactly the kind of thing we talk about every single week here on Silver and Stylish. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because next week we're doing this exact same breakdown for the 5 pairs of shoes that make every single dress on this list look even better than it already does. Like this video if it gave you something real to try today. Drop your favorite trick from the list down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.